Let's take a look at money moves now. South Africa's rand held a 5-month high against the dollar in early trade and looks set for a weekly gain. That's after the central bank raised the repo rate yesterday, citing inflation risks linked to the Ukraine crisis. In early trade, it traded at 14.51 against the dollar, largely unchanged from previous close, and trading at levels last touched in October 2021. Zwelakhe Mnguni is the Chief Investment Officer at Benguela Global Fund Managers, and he joins us now to talk us through the latest market moves. A happy Friday to you. Is that sentiment reflected on the markets?
Certainly. Happy Friday to you too and your viewers. The market is looking quite positive in global markets. I think the SA side, we are under a bit of pressure, largely because of the resources. I think the gold and the platinum sectors stocks, they are under quite a bit of pressure at the moment, and largely because the rand has strengthened and the commodity prices have actually pulled back somewhat. I mean, the dollar, the gold price is down about $5, and the platinum is down 1%, or about $25. So we are seeing quite a bit of pressure on the side of the resources. But the other sectors, the industrials and financials, I mean, we are seeing quite a positive movement today. They're about between 0.7% and 0.9% up.
Let's continue with the theme of commodity news. Anglo American on Friday announcing the sale of its remaining shareholding in Thungela Resources, completing its exit from the South African coal business. What do we need to understand about those developments?
Yeah, I mean, the timing couldn't have been worse. I mean, the gold prices, the coal price has gone up, I think almost doubled after they unbundled. But I mean, be that as it may, I mean, they decided to take advantage of the high price in Thungela and reduce their position. They had made an undertaking that they will not sell any of the remaining shares. They owned about 8% after the unbundling, that they would not sell anything after the first 6 months of unbundling. Now they are implementing a process where they're basically taking 1.6 billion rand out of the table through the sale of Thungela shares.
For every seller, there's a buyer. Let's take a look at payments and software company Yoco. They've acquired fintech and Web3 software development agency Nona Digital. Talk us through the transaction and what it means for Yoco services.
Yeah, I think Yoco, I mean, is known, and we probably have seen it, was one of the first wireless payment systems that are developed in South Africa. And essentially, they seem to be looking to grow their platform and their ability. And I think that transaction on Web3 was essentially building on their software capability to basically be able to service their clients. And they focused on their small and medium enterprises, their ability to make payments. So they bought this transaction or bought this company to basically enable them to develop more products that can support that strategy.
Nedbank Group has been approved for a secondary listing on A2X markets. Talk us through the move and expand on A2X's growth.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, it doesn't mean much, but it does mean for the traders in that on the A2X, the fees are relatively lower, so you can still trade Nedbank on the JSE. But what they've done now is they've listed some of the shares on the A2X, and investors are able to basically transact on that platform. So sometimes you find that volume or somebody's holding big volumes of shares might actually be trading through the A2X, and you don't have access to it if you are only on the JSE. So what they did is they listed on that side, and basically they are now able to give the investors optionality to trade. And I think A2X has been growing and more through secondary listing on their platform rather than the primary. So companies that are listed on the JSE continue to hold that listing, but they move to the A2X to be able to give their investors options in terms of executing their trades on the different exchange.
Thank you very much to Mr. Zwelakhe Mnguni, Chief Investment Officer at Benguela Global Fund Managers.